I lost everything at 52 years old. My business collapsed. My savings vanished. My retirement dreams disappeared overnight. And here's the worst part. It was completely preventable. What I'm about to share with you could save you from making the same devastating mistakes I made. Because the truth is, most people over 50 who start new ventures fail. Not because they're not smart enough. Not because they don't work hard enough. But because nobody tells them the real reasons why senior business ventures keep crashing and burning. Stick with me here. This isn't going to be comfortable. But if you're thinking about starting over after 50, or if you're already in the middle of it, you need to hear this. Because the difference between success and financial ruin often comes down to knowing these critical truths before it's too late. Let me start with the biggest lie we tell ourselves. We think our decades of experience give us an advantage. We believe our wisdom and knowledge will carry us through. And that sounds logical, right? You've worked for 30 years. You know your industry inside and out. Surely that counts for something. But here's the brutal reality. Your experience can actually work against you. I learned this the hard way. I spent 28 years in traditional retail management. I knew everything about running physical stores, customer service, inventory management, staff training. I was an expert. Then I tried to start an online business. And I failed spectacularly. Why? Because I kept applying old rules to a new game. I thought my retail experience would translate directly to e-commerce. It didn't. The skills that made me successful for 3 decades became obstacles. I was fighting with outdated knowledge while younger competitors who knew nothing about traditional retail were crushing it online. This is the first major reason senior ventures fail. We rely too heavily on past experience. We assume what worked before will work now. But the business world has changed dramatically. Technology moves faster. Consumer behavior shifts overnight. Marketing strategies that worked 5 years ago are completely obsolete today. The second crushing reality? We underestimate how much energy new ventures actually require. I'm not talking about physical energy, although that matters too. I'm talking about mental energy, emotional energy, the constant learning, the daily problem solving, the relentless adaptation. When you're 25 and starting a business, you can work 80-hour weeks. You can bounce back from setbacks quickly. You have decades ahead to recover if things go wrong. But at 50 or 60? The stakes are completely different. You don't have 30 years to rebuild. Your energy reserves aren't infinite. Your recovery time from stress is longer. I remember my first 3 months trying to restart my career. I was exhausted. Not just tired. Completely drained. I was learning new software. Adapting to new business models. Competing with people half my age who seemed to have endless energy. And I kept pushing myself like I was still 30. That was mistake number 2. Here's the third reason senior ventures fail, and this one really stings. We often start businesses for the wrong reasons. We're running away from something instead of running towards something. Maybe we got laid off. Maybe we're bored in retirement. Maybe we need extra income because our savings aren't enough. These are all valid concerns. But they make terrible foundations for business success. I started my venture because I was desperate. I needed money. I needed purpose. I needed to prove I still had value. Those emotional needs clouded my judgment. I made decisions based on fear instead of strategy. Successful businesses require clear vision. They need solid planning. They demand objective decision-making. When you're starting from a place of desperation or emotional need, You can't think clearly. You take shortcuts. You ignore warning signs. You convince yourself things will work out because you need them to work out. The fourth major problem? We seriously underestimate startup costs. And I don't just mean money, although financial underestimation is huge. I'm talking about the total cost. Time cost. Relationship cost. Health cost. Opportunity cost. I thought I could start my business with minimal investment. Just a website. Some basic marketing. A few tools. I budgeted $5,000. Within 6 months, I had spent over $30,000. Equipment I didn't anticipate needing. Software subscriptions that added up. Marketing that cost way more than expected. Professional services I couldn't do myself. But the financial cost wasn't even the worst part. My marriage suffered because I was constantly stressed and distracted. My health declined because I wasn't sleeping or exercising. I missed important family moments because I was always working. The total cost of my venture was far higher than any budget spreadsheet could capture. Reason number 5 hits especially hard for people our age. We struggle with technology adoption. Not because we're incapable of learning, but because we underestimate how central technology is to modern business success. Every single aspect of business today involves technology. Marketing is digital. Sales happen online. Customer service uses automated systems. Financial management requires software. I thought I could hire someone to handle the tech stuff. Big mistake. You can't outsource understanding. If you don't understand the technology driving your business, you can't make informed decisions. You become dependent on others. You can't pivot quickly when needed. You can't spot opportunities or threats. The 6th reason senior ventures fail? Poor market research. We think we know what people want. We assume our product or service is needed. We skip the hard work of actually validating our business idea. This overconfidence comes from our experience. We've been around. We've seen things. We know stuff. But knowing stuff doesn't mean knowing your specific market. I assumed people would want what I was offering. I didn't actually ask them. I didn't test my concept. I didn't validate demand before investing time and money. I just jumped in. And I paid dearly for that assumption. Proper market research means talking to potential customers. Testing your offering on a small scale first. Analyzing competition thoroughly. Understanding pricing dynamics. Identifying your actual target audience, not who you think your audience is. This homework isn't optional. It's essential. And skipping it is business suicide. Reason 7 might surprise you. We often choose the wrong business model for our life stage. What works for a 30-year-old doesn't necessarily work for someone over 50. Young entrepreneurs can handle high-risk, high-reward ventures. They can work insane hours building something from scratch. They can live on ramen noodles while their business grows. But at our age, we need different models. We need businesses that generate income relatively quickly. We need ventures that don't require 80-hour work weeks. We need lower risk options because we don't have time to recover from major failures. Yet we often choose business models designed for younger entrepreneurs with different circumstances. The 8th critical factor? Inadequate financial runway. This connects to underestimating costs, but it's deeper. It's about having enough money to survive while your business grows. Most new businesses take 18 to 24 months to become profitable. Some take even longer. Can you survive 2 years without income? Can you cover your living expenses plus business expenses for that long? I couldn't. I thought my business would be profitable in 6 months. It wasn't. By month 9, I was panicking. By month 12, I was taking on debt. By month 15, I was shutting down. I didn't have enough runway. And that financial pressure forced me to make desperate decisions that ultimately killed my venture. Reason 9 is perhaps the most overlooked. We neglect building the right support network. Starting a business after 50 requires different support than starting one at 25. You need mentors who understand your specific challenges. You need peers who are in similar situations. You need family support because the stress will affect everyone around you. I tried to do everything alone. I didn't want to admit I was struggling. I didn't want to appear weak or incompetent. So I isolated myself. I didn't seek help until it was too late. And that isolation made every problem feel bigger and every setback feel more devastating. The 10th and final reason senior business ventures fail? We don't adapt our definition of success. Success at 55 doesn't have to look like success at 25. You don't need to build $1 million company. You don't need to work 80 hours a week. You don't need to sacrifice everything for growth. Success after 50 might mean generating enough income to supplement retirement. It might mean creating a lifestyle business that gives you flexibility and purpose. It might mean building something you can eventually pass to your children. But we often chase the wrong definition of success because we're comparing ourselves to younger entrepreneurs or trying to prove something. So what should you do instead? First, be brutally honest about your motivations. Why are you really starting this venture? If it's desperation or fear, stop. Get stable first. Then consider business opportunities from a position of strength, not weakness. Second, choose a business model that fits your life stage. Look for opportunities that leverage your experience without requiring you to learn entirely new industries. Consider consulting or coaching where your knowledge has immediate value. Explore businesses with proven models rather than trying to innovate something completely new. Third, do exhaustive market research before investing significant time or money. Talk to potential customers. Test your concept. Validate demand. Make sure people actually want what you're planning to offer and are willing to pay for it. Fourth, build a realistic financial plan with a proper runway. Assume everything will take twice as long and cost twice as much as you initially think. Make sure you can survive that scenario. If you can't, either scale down your plans or wait until you have more resources. Fifth, invest heavily in learning relevant technology. You don't need to become a programmer. But you do need to understand the digital tools that drive modern business. Take courses. Watch tutorials. Practice. Get comfortable with technology before launching. Sixth, build your support network before you need it. Find mentors. Join entrepreneur groups for people over 50. Connect with others who understand your specific challenges. Don't wait until you're desperate to seek support. Seventh, protect your health and relationships. Set boundaries. Don't sacrifice everything for your business. Remember why you're doing this. If starting over after 50 destroys your health or marriage, what's the point? Eighth, start small and test before scaling. Don't bet everything on an unproven idea. Launch a minimal version. Test the market. Prove the concept. Then scale gradually. This reduces risk and preserves your resources. Ninth, be willing to pivot or quit. Not every business idea works. Being willing to admit failure and change direction is a strength, not a weakness. Don't throw good money after bad trying to save a failing venture. 10th, redefine success on your terms. What does success actually mean for you at this stage of life? More money? More freedom? More purpose? More time with family? Get clear on your real goals and build a business that serves those goals. Looking back now, I see all the mistakes I made. I see how preventable my failure was. I rushed in without proper planning. I underestimated everything. I overestimated my abilities. I made emotional decisions. I isolated myself. I chose the wrong business model. I ran out of money. I burned out. But here's what I want you to understand. Failure after 50 isn't inevitable. Many people successfully start over and build thriving ventures. But they do it differently than younger entrepreneurs. They're more strategic, more careful, more realistic. They play to their strengths while acknowledging their limitations. You can start over after 50. You can build something meaningful and profitable. But you have to go in with your eyes open. You have to avoid the common traps that destroy senior ventures. You have to be honest with yourself about what you can realistically achieve and what it will actually cost. I wish someone had told me all this before I lost everything. I wish I had understood these realities before jumping in. Maybe I would have made different choices. Maybe I would have approached things differently. Maybe I would have succeeded instead of failed. But I can't change my past. I can only share what I learned so you don't have to learn it the hard way. Starting over after 50 is possible. Just make sure you know what you're really getting into before you take that leap.